Under a moonless sky, in a forgotten grove deep within the ancient forest, a lone traveller stumbled upon a crossroads. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the whispers of unseen forces. As the traveller stood, uncertain of which path to take, a shiver ran down his spine. He had heard tales of this place where the veil between worlds thinned and the goddess of witchcraft, Hecate, roamed. From the shadows, 3 figures emerged, all identical yet distinct, each holding a torch that flickered with an unnatural light. The traveller's breath caught as he realized he was standing before Hecate herself, the triple goddess, guardian of the crossroads and mistress of the night. Her eyes, dark as the void, pierced through him, seeing beyond flesh into the depths of his soul. She spoke in a voice that echoed with the wisdom of the ages, offering him a choice. One path led to his deepest desires, the other to his darkest fears, and the third, an unknown fate. But Hecate's gifts were never simple. The traveller, trembling with a mix of awe and dread, knew that whichever path he chose, there would be no turning back. As he hesitated, Hecate's torches flared, casting eerie shadows that twisted and danced. The ground beneath him seemed to pulse with an ancient rhythm, the very heartbeat of the earth. With a nod, Hecate gestured, and the paths before him began to blur, merging into one. The traveller took a deep breath and stepped forward, his fate sealed. As he vanished into the darkness, Hecate smiled, a knowing, timeless smile, as the grove fell silent, awaiting the next soul to stand at the crossroads. After the traveller vanished into the darkness, the grove returned to its usual eerie stillness. Hecate remained at the crossroads, her presence both a comfort and a terror to the land itself. The wind whispered through the twisted trees, carrying with it the echoes of countless souls who had stood at these very crossroads, faced with the same impossible choice. But this night was different. The air shimmered with a strange, palpable tension. The ground trembled slightly, as if something ancient and powerful stirred beneath the surface. Hecate's dark eyes narrowed as she sensed a disturbance, something far older and more dangerous than any mortal could comprehend. A distant rumble began to grow, the sound coming from deep within the earth. Hecate tilted her head slightly, listening to the ominous sound with a curious yet wary expression. The earth at the crossroads cracked and split, revealing a gaping chasm that seemed to lead into an endless void. From the depths of this abyss, a figure began to rise, a being of shadow and fire, its form ever shifting as if it was made from the nightmares of the world itself. This was no mere spirit or demon. This was something far more ancient, something that had been banished to the depths of the earth eons ago. Hecate stood tall, her torches burning brighter as she confronted the emerging entity. The being, sensing her power, hesitated, its form flickering uncertainly. But it was not fear that held it back. It was recognition. For the first time in countless millennia, the darkness met its match in Hecate. The two forces faced each other in a silent standoff. Hecate, the guardian of the crossroads, and the dark entity from the abyss. The grove seemed to hold its breath, the trees bending slightly as if bowing to the immense power gathered in this one spot. Finally, the entity spoke, its voice a low, rumbling growl that shook the very ground. "You cannot keep me here forever, Hecate. The time of mortals is ending, and soon the ancient darkness will rise again." Hecate's lips curled into a slight smile, a smile that held both challenge and promise. "Perhaps," she replied, her voice as calm and eternal as the night itself. "But not tonight." With that, she raised her torches, and a blinding light erupted from them, filling the grove and the chasm with a radiant, purifying flame. The entity screamed, its form dissolving in the light, banished once more to the depths from which it came. The chasm sealed itself, the ground smoothing over as if nothing had happened. The grove returned to its usual eerie silence, the tension in the air dissipating. Hecate lowered her torches, her expression returning to its serene, knowing calm. She knew this was not the end, merely a delay in the inevitable. The ancient darkness, ever patient, would rise again, its malevolent power lurking just beyond the veil. And when it did, Hecate would be there, standing guard at the crossroads, ready to meet it with the full force of her ancient wisdom and unyielding strength. For now, though, the crossroads were safe, the balance maintained, and the fragile veil between worlds remained intact, shielding mortals from the terrors that lay beyond. As the first light of dawn began to touch the horizon, casting long, faint shadows across the grove, Hecate turned away from the crossroads. Her figure, imposing and eternal, slowly faded into the darkness, becoming one with the shadows she commanded. The grove fell into a deep, eerie silence, awaiting the next traveler, the next soul destined to face Hecate and make a choice that could either change their fate or bring it to an end.